Magandang araw sa ating lahat. So narito naman tayo ngayong araw na ito para sa isang makabuluhan at matinding magiging talakayan natin tungkol sa buhay ng isang pagtuturo. So sa araw na ito, ang ating magiging puntahan at magiging talakayan ay patungkol sa mga usapin na nakapaloob sa P21 skills of the 21st century, the roles of the teachers teaching in the multicultural classes. So definitely po ang ating pangunahing talakayan dito is the global teachers multicultural skill, which is part ng ating discussion sa ating kurso ng PBTE 5013 or the teaching profession. Ayan. So ngayong araw na ito, sa ating magiging huntahan at talakayan ngayong araw na ito, iikot tayo sa dalawang pangunahin na usapin. Una, ang usapin ng tungkol sa pag-unlad ng metodolohiya at ng pedagohiya, at ikalawa naman ay patungkol naman sa pagtuturo sa isang multicultural classes o yung tinatawag natin na samut-saring mga kultural na mga klase. No? So, simulan natin ang ating magiging talakayan sa mga larawan na ito. No? So, sa larawan na ating pinapakita ngayon dito, ito ay isang larawan o inukit na larawan mula sa panahon ng medieval. Makikita natin sa larawan na to yung mga tao at mga partikular ay ilang mga monghe rito na nangangasiwa sa isang publication o printing studio. So, makikita natin yung samot-saring mga pamamaraan ng mga tawagin natin ay mga mekanikal na mga pamamaraan nila upang makapaglimbag o makapag-publish ng kanilang mga sulat ng mga panahon nito. No? So, dito sa susunod na larawan ay makikita natin yung malaking pagbabago ng industriya ng paglilimbag o ng pag-iimprinta. Makikita natin sa modernong panahon na ang mga kumpanya ng paglilimbag ay mayroon silang malaking pinagbago. No? So, sa kanilang pamamaraan, sa kanilang metodolohiya at maging sa kanilang proseso ng paglilimbag. No? Sa ikalawang bahagi ng ating ng larawan na ipapakita ay makikita natin dito yung isang kagubatan. So, ang larawan ng kagubatan ay maaari nating bigyan ng definisyon at ng pagkakakilanlan bilang isang samut-sari. No? Samut-sari dahil dito makikita natin iba't ibang uri ng hayop, iba't ibang uri ng halaman, iba't ibang uri ng organismo, at sa loob na to ay makikita rin natin yung samut-sari tinatawag natin na life cycle, samut-saring mga kultura, samut-saring mga pampuri ng mga pamumuhay ng mga hayop. So sabihin natin kung may mga indigenous tribes dito, samut-saring mga kultura o iba't ibang pamamaraan din ng pamumuhay, no? So ganoon din naman, no, sa isang klase, no, o sa isang classroom, ito ay maaari nating mahilan tulad sa tinatawag natin na kagubatan. Bakit kagubatan? Dahil ang mga mag-aaral dito ay merong kanya-kanya silang mga kulturang pinanggalingan. So, itong mga bata na to, kung titingnan natin ng mas malalim, sila ay nagmula sa iba't ibang mga pamilya. At ang mga pamilya na ito ay meron silang kanya-kanyang mga kulturang kinalakihan. Kaya kapag sila ay nagsama sa isang classroom, ito ay tinatawag natin na multicultural communities. Isa itong community na kung saan merong samut-saring mga kultura. Kaya nga, kung titingnan natin sa isang mas malalim na punto mga teachers, na ang isang classroom ay hindi lamang siya isang simpleng classroom, kundi isa itong malaking hamon kung papaano natin pagbubuklod-buklurin ang isang nagsasama-samang kultura, ang mga nagkakaiba-ibang mga pag-iisip, ang nagkakaiba-ibang mga kasanayan ng mga bata na to upang lapit natin sila sa pagkatuto o ma-meet natin yung tinatawag natin na intended learning natin sa kanila, no? So, ano nga ba yung isa sa pinakamalaking hamon, no, sa ating mga mag-aaral sa panahon natin kung bakit sumilang itong ganitong uri ng usapin? So, makikita natin dito yung isa sa mga quote na nagmula sa Time Magazine, no, way back sa taong 2006. Sabi dito, "This is a story about whether an entire generation of kids will fail to make the grade in global economy." No? So, because they can think their way through the abstract problems work in teams, distinguish good information from bad, or speak a language other than their own. So dito, sa panahon ng 2006 pababa, isang malaking hamon at isang malaking suliranin para sa ating sistemang edukasyon at maging sa ating mga kabataan, yung ganitong uri ng problema na kung saan ay marami tayong mga mag-aaral na nagtatapos sa kanilang mga baitang grade 6, high school, na kung saan ay hindi nila nauunawaan ang basikong galaw ng isang ekonomiya, ang basikong galaw ng isang lipunan, ni hindi nila nauunawaan kung papaano malalaman ang isang mahusay at maayos na impormasyon, papaano makakapagsalita, papaano makakapaghikayat ng isang kapwa, at maging ang pag-iisip sa paraang abstraktibo. No? So isang malaking problema ito dahil sa makikita natin sa mga NAT, no, or sa mga National Achievement Test at iba pang mga test na ginagawa sa ating educational system, maging sa ating mga public school, ay nakikita natin dito na napakalaki, no, yung antas at napakalayo natin sa tinatawag natin na standards ng education system sa buong mundo. So kaya naman napakahalaga at napapanahon na pag-usapan natin itong mga ganitong uri ng talakayan at ng ganitong uri ng mga diskusyon. So ano pa ba ang nangyayari sa ating edukasyon ngayong panahon na to? It is becoming increasingly clear that knowledge alone is not enough to prepare students to thrive in the world. Many employers right now are speaking about their newly hired graduates and their lack of skills in the workplace. So makikita natin dito na isa o ikalawa sa punto de vista na binibigyan natin dito diin ay yung suliranin na kung saan ay yung mga employers sa panahon na ito noon ay nagkakaroon sila ng malaking suliranin sapagkat karamihan di umano sa mga nagtatapos sa ating mga public schools noong panahon na ito ay lack of skills. No, kulang na kulang sa mga skills na kung saan ay kapag pumapasok sila sa mga gawaing profesional o naha-hire sila sa mga kumpanya ay kulang na kulang kanilang kaalaman maging sa mga basikong paggalaw, basikong etiketa kung paano susundin ang mga bagay-bagay. So malaking problema to at maging sa mga survey ng mga panahon na to ay makikita natin na ito ay isang malaking suliranin, no? So hindi siya isang suliraning panlipunan lamang kundi isa itong suliranin na kung saan ay mauugat natin sa sistema ng edukasyon sa Pilipinas, no? Kaya nga makikita rin natin dito, no, that this issue, educator's role, take note this key term that isa sa mga may pangunahing gampanin dito ay ang mga guro. The role must also upgrade and pattern with the needs of the society as well as the development of culture. So makikita natin dito na hindi lamang dapat ang mga mag-aaral ang patuloy na nag-upgrade ng kanilang pagkatuto, kundi maging ang mga guro ay kinakailangan nating maging non-stop yung ating pagkatuto dahil taon-taon, buwan-buwan at bawat galaw ng panahon ay laging merong pagbabago sa ating lipunan at pagbabago sa ating mga kultura. Kaya nga makikita natin, no, na isang malaking hamon sa tinatawag natin mga season teacher kung paano i-deal o kakausapin o lalapitan yung tinatawag natin ng mga millennials. Ito ay dahil hindi sila nakakasabay sa pagbabago ng lipunan o dumating sila sa punto na hindi na nila in-upgrade yung kanilang kaalaman mula doon sa kanilang natapos ng panahon siguro ng kanilang tawagin natin buhay kolehiyo, no? Kaya nga mga teachers, tatandaan natin na hindi ibig sabihin na makatapos tayo ng pag-aaral sa kolehiyo, makakuha tayo ng board exam, yun na ang katapusan ng ating pag-aaral, kundi isa itong non-stop learning, no? So to truly have expertise, students must learn what to do with the information they learn. So paano natin ito gagawin? We must continue to upgrade our learning based on the needs of the society and the development of our culture. So some of the questions that we need to ponder upon is, can they use it to create something new? How do they know that it is making a sound argument? Okay? Can they communicate their knowledge? Can they work together to construct something greater than any one of the students? Okay? So these are the questions that the students must ponder as well as the educators must resolve as one of the key factors on making a successful student. So tatandaan natin teachers na hindi lamang ito problema ng mga bata o ng ating mga mag-aaral, kundi isa sa mga key factors dito ay tayong mga tagapagturo o mga guro mismo. So habang dumadaloy ang panahon, educators must also consider these questions, no? And as time makes development and a wide influence in culture, educators must also nourish the skills necessary for a 21st century. So dahil dyan, sumilang yung tinatawag natin na 4C. So dahil nga tayo ngayon ay sa 21st century of society at ang ating edukasyon ay tinatawag natin na 21st century education, there has a lot of sabihin natin ng mga professionals and the mga tanyag ng mga educational doctors, no, na kung saan ay nagsasabi na ang 4C o yung tinatawag natin na creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration ang pinakasusi kung papaano natin matutugunan yung pangangailangan ng isang 21st century society. Okay? So, the problem of learners that was graduated and unable to grasp the changes in the 21st century is not an inclusive problem or issue in the country. It is also one of the previous concerns that also raised by the previous U.S. Secretary of Education. And quoted, "We are currently preparing students for jobs and technologies that don't yet exist in order to solve the problems that we don't even know are problems yet." No? So makikita natin dito na hindi lang pala sa Pilipinas nangyayari ang problema ito, but rather pati sa malalaki at mayamang bansa ay they also found out na ito ay isang malaking problemang panlipunan na nag-uugat sa sistemang pang-edukasyon natin. Okay? So the education of 21st century, so tatandaan natin that most of the educators agree that the 21st century dawned as the beginning of the digital age. So wala namang kukontra dito, no? Pagpasok ng 21st century, samot-saring mga digital innovation ang nangyari, no? A time of unprecedented growth in technology, kung sinasabi nga natin, no? An information explosion. It is an era where tools for information access and management made a great impact on the way how we live, work, play, and view things. Tama? So, hindi natin may tatanggihan na yan ay isang katotohanan at pagbabagong panlipunan talaga. Because of this trend, numerous studies and reports over the years attempted and seek to identify the life, career, and learning skills that define the skills needed for the success in the 21st century. So definitely, dahil nagbabago ang lipunan, dahil ang 21st century is ang digital age, so there is now a need kung paano nga ba magiging isang successful ang isang 21st century student. Tama? So, definitely, kinakailangan din mag-upgrade yung ating methodology, mag-upgrade yung ating pedagogy. Okay? Okay, but because of numbers of studies and reports that have been made, some differences in how the skills are categorized and interpreted, there are also many commonalities. No? So, samot-sari ngayon naging mga bahagi o naging talakayan o mga naging suwestyon ng ating mga dalubhasa, eksperto sa edukasyon, kung paano nga ba raw maging successful. But at the end of the day, nagkaroon sila o maaari nating masabi na meron silang mga commonalities, no, sa mga bagay na ito. Okay. So, the education of the 21st century also, for how many years most educators received and practiced, no, sa ating mga seasoned teacher, most of them mastered yung tinatawag natin na 3 R's, which are the reading, writing, and arithmetic, as well as simple subjects in the social studies and language. So, they have mastered that. Alam na kung paano nila padadaluyin yung isang traditional setup ng klase. Okay? So, in this traditional approach, a teacher taught that content by repetition. So, naniniwala nung panahon na ito, or most of the strategies na ginagawa noon ay by repetition. No? Na ang paniniwala na the more we repeat the action, the more we repeat the lesson, the more natututo ang mga estudyante. So, that is how they teach. No? Kaya nga mapapansin natin sa ating mga elementary days, ganun yung naging proseso ng ating mga teacher kapag hindi natin naunawaan yung isang lesson. Okay? As we can see, this model is a teacher-centered focus. So, nakafocus lamang tayo sa isang guro. So, nakafocus lamang tayo sa facilitator o sa natawag natin teacher. Okay? Requiring students to memorize a large amount of information to expand their knowledge. Teachers then assess students' knowledge by using tests and quizzes at the end of the unit or year in order to identify the students' learning level. So makikita natin that these are the traditional, very traditional setup. So teacher-centered focus, magtuturo. Pag hindi naintindihan, uulitin ng lesson, uulitin. Then after that, ay para ma-assess kung natuto ang si student, magkakaroon ng assessment. Okay? Magbibigyan ng test or quizzes. Then after ng test or quizzes na yan, doon na ma-identify ni teachers kung ito ba'y natuto or hindi. Okay? So, very traditional in essence po talaga siya. Okay? So, therefore, it is not ready to transfer and grasp the challenges of new environments. Kung ganun ang gagawin natin sa ating 21st century education and students, definitely hindi ito makakasabay sa pagbabago at mga hamon ng bagong kapaligiran natin. Educators and education system must understand that deep understanding and actionability for the real world will occur only by embedding skills within the knowledge domains. Because of this, the Partnership for 21st Century or the P21 na tinatawag natin has created several skills maps for several traditional knowledge areas such as mathematics, science, social studies, arts, geography, English, and languages. Okay, so ito yung isa sa pinaka-framework ng 21st century yung tinatawag natin na P21 skills na tinatawag natin. Okay, so makikita natin dito yung mode ng transformation ng bawat framework from the standards to assessments, curriculum, instruction, professional development, learning environments, papunta roon sa information technology, skills, or subjects, and so on and so on. Okay? So the P21 frameworks for 21st century learning was developed with so hindi naman siya basta-basta na develop ng puchi-puchi lamang. So it developed by the teachers, education experts, and business leaders to define and illustrate the skills and knowledge so students need to succeed in work, life, and citizenship, as well as the support system necessary for the 21st century learning outcomes. This framework has been used thousands of educators. Okay, so it's already proven and hundreds of schools in the US and abroad to put the 21st century skills at the center of the learning. The P21 framework represents both the 21st century students' outcomes as represented by the arc of the rainbow and support system as represented by the pools on the bottom. So yung mga naka-arc sa ibaba naman yung banda. Okay? So the partnership or the P21 century skills prepared educational standards for the next generations or the 21st century students in order to present an appropriate strategy to apply them. Okay? So P21, according to Alismael and McKeary from their research, so what will be the focus of the P21 century skills education? Focuses on the 21st century skills, content, knowledge, and expertise. Second, builds understanding across and among the core subjects as well as the 21st century interdisciplinary themes. Then emphasize deep understanding rather than shallow knowledge. Fourth, engage students with the real-world data, tools, experts they will encounter in college, on the job, and in life. The number 5 allows the multiple measures of the mastery. Okay? So the P21 also framework is one of the key tools on how the educators can be an effective educator in a multicultural classes. So let us always remember that every classroom is a cultural community. So katulad sinabi ko kanina, every student has their own cultural background coming from their different families. So pag nagsama-sama mo, isipin mo 30 students, 50 students, so meron ka ngayong 50 culture na kinakailangan maintindihan at kinakailangan pagbuklod-buklurin. So both the students and the professors have different cultural community race, and even you as a teacher, you have also a cultural community kung saan ka lumaki. Tama po ba? So it is a multicultural community ng isang classroom therefore. Okay, so students will come to understand that learning is about the generation of mutual reflection of ideas and concepts. This is the most effective done in a collaborative and non-competitive environment. So, kinakailangan natin ipaintindihan sa ating classroom. Okay? So, mutual reflection of understanding. So, to effectively address this concern, one effective approach is to understand and attend the variety of learning in classrooms. So we need to identify the different strategies, different methodologies kung paano natin i-address itong iba't ibang uri ng mga cultural community or cultural groups na ito. Understanding multiple learning styles allows one to focus on the individual student's own learning styles. Okay, so napakaganda, no? So the entire classroom will be considered as a learning community dahil hindi lamang si teacher nagbibigay, kundi maging si student ay nagbibigay ng kanyang experience, cultural background, nang sa ganun ay maging ang kanyang mga kamag-aral ay natututo sa kanya. Okay? So by this, both of the students and educators respect and create an atmosphere of student-centered classroom, whereas the educators become the facilitators of learning rather than siya ang nagdidictate lamang ng learning, but both of them, the educator as well as the student, become the sharer or the point of knowledge. Okay, so that is a good. So, content knowledge in the 21st century theme. So, dito, we have to focus also, though we identified na ang isang klase ay isang cultural community. Okay, so we have identified the pinaka-prior, no, na paraan kung paano natin ma-address itong multicultural classroom. So therefore, we need to identify also kung ano yung mga content knowledge ng isang 21st century education. So the first thing we must understand is the mastery of fundamental subjects. 21st century themes is essential for the students in the 21st century discipline. Includes number 1, English. Number 3, number 2 is the world languages. Number 3 is arts. Number 4 ay tinatawag natin dito na mathematics. 5, economics. 6, science, geography. 8, and history. Okay, so number 9, lastly, ay nakafocus sa tinatawag natin na civics and government, which is kinakailangan talaga natin sa panahon natin ngayon. Okay, next one is yung tinatawag natin na in addition to these subjects, we believe the school must move beyond a focus on a basic competency to promoting understanding of academic content at much higher levels by weaving 21st century interdisciplinary themes into curriculum. Number 1, yung konsepto natin ng global awareness. 2 is the financial, economic, business, and entrepreneurial literacy. 3 is the civic literacy, which is needed by our country right now. Number 4 is the health literacy. 5 is the environmental literacy. And then the third is the umulit tayo. So, sorry natin yan. So, next part is the learning and innovation skill. Increasingly are being recognized the skills that separate students who are prepared for increasingly complex life and work environments in the 21st century. And those are not a focus on creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration is essential to prepare students for the future. Creativity and innovation, critical thinking, and problem solving. Next is the information media and technology skills. So ano nga ba yung mga kinakailangan maging tangan-tangan ng isang student, a 21st century student? Today, we live in technology and media is soft-used environment. So amin tayo dyan dahil hindi po siya may tatanggi. So number 1, access to an abundance of information. Okay? The needs for the rapid changes in technology tools. The number 3 is the ability to collaborate and make individual contribution on an unprecedented scale. To be effective in the 21st century, citizens and workers must be able to create, evaluate, and effectively utilize information, media, and technology. Information literacy, media literacy, or yung tinatawag natin ICT literacy. Next is the life career skills. So, ano ang kinakailangan ng isang 21st century student? Today's students need to develop the thinking skills, content knowledge, and the social and emotional competencies to navigate the complex life and work environment. The P21's essential life and career skills include, number 1 is the flexibility and adaptability. Number 2 is the initiative and the self-direction. 3 is the social and cross-cultural skill. Number 4 is the productivity and accountability. 5 is the leadership and responsibility in the 21st century support system. Okay, so those are the primary needs. Ang tinatawag natin na primary weapon na kinakailangang bitbitin ng isang 21st century students sa isang 21st century education. At the same time sa society natin. And therefore, kung yun ang mga kinakailangan ng isang 21st century student, therefore yun din yung mga bagay na kinakailangan maging focal point ng education system natin right now. Okay, so the 21st century skills are integrated into contents. Okay, so some key design principles include: number one is providing opportunities for students to work collaborative as they gather information, solve problems, share ideas, and generate new ideas. Number two is developing life and career skills. Okay, so by creating opportunities for students to become self directed learners who take responsibilities for their own learning and who learn how to work effectively with others. Then, number three, helping students make connection between subjects, concepts, and ideas and with others, including those outside of the classroom. Okay, so another thing is connecting the content knowledge to real-world application and problem situations. So, kinakailangan natin yan. Na, next, the fifth one is emphasizing deep understanding of learning by focusing on the project and problems that require students to use the content knowledge in the new ways. Okay? Then lastly is helping students understand and monitor the thinking processes they are using by including the metacognitive activities that ask students to reflect on their use of thinking structures and the effectiveness of the thinking strategies they employ. Okay? Ayan. So, another thing is the using technology to help students access, analyze, organize, and share that they are learning and allow students to independently locate appropriate tools for the task. And according to Apple 2008, providing opportunities for students to become not only learners but also creators as well as consumers of published information. And lastly is engaging students in solving complex problems that required hats and application of content and that result in the new perspective and solutions to the problem. Okay, so remember, teachers, that the role of the teachers in the 21st century classroom shifts from that of the expert to that of the facilitator. Yes, we admit that we are the expert of our field, but we need to identify ourselves as a facilitator dahil alam natin ang mga students natin pag pumasok sa classroom ay meron na silang mga background information na alam dahil nga sa fast-pacing na information sa panahon natin ngayon. So the focus for instruction shifts from knowing to being able to use the applied information in relevant ways. Okay? So it should emphasize that education should focus on both course academic subject, mastery, and 21st century skills development. These skills help students to be ready for college and career life. There are various strategies by which to achieve the 21st century skills: problem solving, critical thinking, collaborative learning, integration environment, and digital tools in teaching. And remember that the 21st century curriculum and instruction provides an integrative approach for achieving success for the students. So let us always remember that as a student and as a teacher, we must always value the improvement and the upgrade ng tinatawag natin na information and skills nating teacher. So, hindi lamang tayo dapat nakafocus sa tinatawag natin na ating pagkatuto ng ating college, pagpasa sa board exam, but remember that the improvement at yung tinatawag natin na development ng methodologies and pedagogy natin ay kinakailangan patuloy yan hanggang tayo'y mag-retired sa ating profession. So, dahil dyan, I end my presentation for this. So, thank you very much and see you sa ating next na huntahan at diskusyon. Maraming salamat sa ating lahat.